Well, happy Sunday evening to you. Chris Hare here, the Crypto Cowboy, bringing you another video nightly update. Today is Sunday, October 5th. It's around 8:45 here in Texas. Had a daily close, trying to figure out what's going on. I don't have a lot of confidence tonight, so we're kind of in the middle. There's a couple of different options, but we're going to break it down. But if you're liking the videos, go ahead and hit the like button, tap the subscribe, hit that bell notification. You'll get notifications for videos as soon as they drop. And please leave us a comment. Those comments help the algorithm for YouTube, and we can't thank you enough for that. But we'll go ahead and get this out of the way as well. This video is not for financial advice. It's for entertainment and educational purposes only. Use caution when trading crypto. You could lose all of your money. All right, got a lot to cover tonight. We're going to go over a few things. Looking at the fear and greed index, we're at 59, up 1 from yesterday. I do notice this pennant. There's kind of a bull flag forming. So we keep putting in a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low. Tried to put in a lower high, a higher low, lower high, went down to fear, coming back up. You break out of those things. You can see here, this one did, broke out. This one here, broke out. This one did. Where we go from here? Good question. Got a lot going on. We'll get into it when we get to the charts. Crypto bubbles, mixed bag today. A lot of green, kind of had a pump this evening. So we've been kind of watching out for that. We go to the liquidation heat map. This is kind of telling our story. You can see there's probably just as much longs as there is shorts. Got a huge pocket of liquidity at all-time high. Do they go up for it now? Do they come down and grab this liquidity at 123? Maybe around 121? Time will tell. A lot of liquidations around 126. I went ahead and added altcoins on here since we're kind of in the middle. Kind of want to figure out what's going on, but you can tell by Ethereum there's a lot of heavy liquidations to the downside. Getting close to 327 million. To the upside, 400, 500. To the top, we're at 700. To the bottom, we're about 450. So, yeah, there's more liquidations to the top side than there is the bottom. But it looks like we kind of want to grab these lower liquidities first. Go ahead and look at Solana too. Kind of the same thing. A lot of liquidity sitting up at around 237. Then you've got quite a bit all the way down here. But it looks like we're kind of getting in. You know, maybe they want to run after 225 before going up and grabbing this. But we'll get into the charts. We'll kind of figure out what's going on here. So going to go over 4-hour charts tonight. I don't see a real need for the daily yet. We kind of need to get through where we are right now. Looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hour, we're sitting at about 124,000. Mentioned last night that we could run up to that all-time high. There was some liquidity sitting up there, so I'm not surprised. And it put us right in the golden zone here. So that's going to make this third wave an extended wave. The thing about extended waves, it may not be extended. It's a regular wave. So we're going to call it a regular wave. This is the completion of wave 3. I'm going to go ahead and leave that way because here's where we're at. I think we come down here. I think we come down to about 118,000. 118,000 is going to be our decider here because we're at the top. That's the top of wave 1 on this impulsive move. If we don't bounce around 115, 116,000, I think lower targets are in play. 114 to 111. If we lose that, we're going to 100, 104. But you can see where the bottom of the channel is. It gives us a bullish option. My thing about this invalidation on wave 1 is that if you go below this, if you go below about 116,000, that invalidates this impulsive move. Then we're looking at something that may be more corrective. Something like W, X, Y, X, Z pattern. So keep that in mind. If we don't bounce there, that's what we're looking at. Looking at the liquidation heat maps, it kind of looks like we're probably going to bounce, but I'd be cautious around 120 for a bounce. I'd also be cautious about 118. Then we'll go from there. I'm not going to go make any assumptions beyond that point. If we go up, you're looking at about 132 to 136, which is kind of where we've been talking. But yeah, let's get through this. Let's get through tonight and tomorrow. Let's see where we are. Bull moon printed on Sunday for the weekly, but we didn't get one for the daily. And those full moons in a bull cycle, I'm inclined to think they go up. So that's kind of where I'm at. I really want to just wait and see how this pennant or this wedge fills out, and then we can go from there. If we go to Ethereum on the 4-hour, looks a little different than Bitcoin. I've noticed that they all kind of do. So I'm really paying attention to that, what's going on. But it's kind of the same boat. Looks like we finished 3. Going to come down and work on 4 now. I'm looking for a bounce somewhere on this 50 smooth moving average. Our invalidation is going to be about 42.35. So again, do we come down and all of this is just a giant wave 1? Or are we looking at something more corrective in nature? You could argue WX, Y, and then XZ, just like we did on Bitcoin. But we really need to see what happens down here. I don't want to make any assumptions that we're going lower until we fully understand where we bounce. Once we bounce, I think we can make those assumptions. Or if we lose these key levels that we're looking for, we can look for downside. We didn't come up and touch this 786, so I'm a little optimistic, but honestly, I'm 50-50. If we do break out of this, heading up towards 5,300, 5,600, 4,800, 4,968 will be your first stop. XRP, almost identical. Looks like we've completed wave 1 and wave 2. I was looking at some other options, so I'm going to put this back. I've really beat my head up against the wall on this move. It really kind of hasn't done what I thought it should have. I think that's intentional. I think they're just keeping everybody stumped here. And what's really going on is, like, every time we hit all-time high, either people are taking profits, and then a lot of people are setting shorts every time. So there's a lot of topside liquidity, and they like to go grab that. They're not just going to let you have that short that easy. But there you go. Completed 3 waves, working down our 4th wave. Invalidation sits at around 293. We've got to bounce there. It looks like we've kind of bounced off this 50. I would be interested to see what happens here. Looks like we've lost the daily 50. So I would look at lower targets here. You can see I've got kind of a pennant drawn. May come down to this 618. If we do that, then we're looking at corrective moves. We got to watch this one close. See what happens here. We're kind of really at a deciding point. And if this is all 5 waves here, then we're due a bigger correction, and we could come down to 618, 786, 278 to 285, bounce from there. I'm not completely bearish on this. It just doesn't look like some of the move is completed. So I really want to wait and see. I'm short off the top. I went and took profits a few hours ago. I made a post about that. But yeah, if we lose everything, looking at 258 to 245. Upside targets 319, 226, on up to 347, 362. I know this is clear as mud tonight, but I don't have a definitive answer on this. Looking at Solana on the 4-hour, kind of made a run up here this evening. Tapping the top of this trend line. These things are adjustable. If we go up a little higher, I just kind of move them on the fly. But for now, we've got a wick, so I'm leaving it there. Like I've told you before, these pennants fill out about 70%, and they're going to move out of them. Invalidation on Solana would be around 215. So we'll mark that. So we need a bounce here. We can wick down into these and come back up. Fair value gap here sure makes me bullish. Really think we probably may take a bounce here. Work on up 245, 253. These top targets are estimates. I've made an estimated bounce point for them. Those top side numbers will change. If we bounce, I'll update those tomorrow, and we'll figure out the better details. We lose all this, 178, 163 is your target. I went ahead and drew a trend there just to kind of get an idea of what's going on. If that's the case, I don't think it is, but we'll see. 245, 253 is your first stop. Moving on up, 277, 293. Moving on to ADA, moving right along. It's a lot easier when we don't have to look at 15 different charts on one coin. Looks the same here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know that we've completed 5 here. I don't think we have. Got a pennant drawn here. Like I said, unless these are all wave ones and we're going to come down here, there's just so many scenarios. It could be a corrective move. It could be a wave 1. It could be a 5-wave impulsive move up to the 786 golden zone. There's just a lot of factors involved. So we're going to look at bounce points somewhere down here above 4-hour invalidation at around 8180. If we lose that and bounce in this 786, then this is all a wave 1 and these waves are wrong. Something to keep in mind. If we lose a 786, 72 cents, 64 cents, you could bounce anywhere before 75 cents and work your way up if this is a wave 1. So there's a lot of different scenarios at play here. Golden zone sits 87 cents, 91 cents, $1, $7 may be your top side targets. Like I said, these are estimated, and we'll update them if we bounce, when we bounce, however you want to word that. Times like these guys, it's really good just to play the move in front of you. Wait around. And there's just not a bigger move to play yet. All right, same thing on SUI. 3 waves completed, coming down. This is probably a B wave to come down, test out around 336. 4-hour invalidation sits at about 332. So we're going to want to see something bounce before then. Like I said, unless they're wave 1s, we can come on all the way down to around 305, 307, lose that. 288, 267 is your targets. If we bounce, go up. 372, 383, 415, 437 will be your next stop. Moving on to Link, same thing. Looks like 3 waves completed, working down for 4. 4-hour invalidation, we've tapped if this is right. You can see the wick down. Need to watch these close. 4-hour stochastic RSI is reset. Regular RSI is working down still. Hourly chart looks like we've rejected the 50, retested. Looks like we're probably going to go down there. Yeah, that was good to look at. Probably need to adjust this trend. Like I said, I keep these things kind of fluid. I don't lean on them completely to be set in stone, but they're handy for a visual to see what you're looking at. I would draw this with all these candles, pull it over here. You could argue that it's here. You guys are getting a lesson. You went to the top of 3. Now you've got 3 touch points. There, I like it. 70% is right at 4-hour invalidation, so that looks promising. Like I said, we can't rule it out till it's done. There you go. That's SUI. If we lose all of that, lose the low, 1887, 1773 would be your next stop. If we go up, which seems likely, 2481, 2615, finish out $30.30, 3270. AVAX. This is why I think this could be all a wave 1. You look at AVAX, there's an argument there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, which would be a subwave, but that's all wave 1. You can't argue that that's a wave 2 or 3 on a 4-hour chart, which makes me think those others may also be just a macro wave 1. So we're looking at targets right now, 618, the 618, 282, anywhere from $28 up to about $30. Bounced here, but the 50s here, this is a retest. We're going to come down, probably look for this fair value gap or this one. Bottom trend is there. If we lose all that, 25.83, 24.25. Upside targets, 32.70, 34.24, 38.69, 41.86 before we're looking for a stopping point. All right, so that kind of gives you an idea of the charts. Want to show you one more thing. This is the crypto school. We talk about it all the time. I post all my charts. This is the trade chat. Everybody talking about what we're doing, where we're going. Nobody really has an idea. You'll find my channel here that I'm going to give you daily updates. I'm going to throw charts up. I'm going to tell you when I'm taking profit, give you motivational stuff. It's all here, guys. Great lineup of coaches. Coach Bulls is amazing with TA. Satoshi's a great signal caller. Coach Fish, one of my best friends, part of the Crypto Cowboys. Absolutely amazing with his education. Coach Lewis gives updates every day that are very, very good. I like to watch them as well because it kind of confirms what I'm thinking. Watched his video tonight. He's kind of in the middle too. Of course, you know Connor Kenny, Tyler Hill. It's all here. Why wouldn't you want to be here? But anyway, you'll find the links to all of that in my description. You'll find a link to my X. You'll find a link to Big Unex. Get you some good deals on your trading. But yeah, this is a real kind of middle of the road move, guys. We don't have real direction. Like I said, I'm short, but it's a short-term move. I'm going to close them out when they hit the bottom. I'm not going to try to hold these things. And then I'm going to wait around and see what happens. We do have that full moon printing tomorrow, so I kind of lean towards the bullish side. Charts kind of lean bullish, but there is an option to go the other way. But I've said enough. I'm going to wrap this thing up. My name's Chris Hare. I'm the Crypto Cowboy. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you down the road.